Hi and welcome to my video. Today I'm making a little slider card out of this cupcake, and it's just a little hidden message. So what I've done already is I stamped my stripes onto the punch note card, and I've used the new punch colored of Hero Hues chalk ink. And I have my polka dots right here and Hero Hues latte chalk ink. This is a completely yummy flavored colored ink, and it goes on the mocha note cards and on the latte and the cream and the white. Anyway, I'm just going to stamp onto this little 2-inch strip with polka dots, and I do the CPR method. That's the double-handed, and there we have it. Just a little panel that's going to go on my card. It's 2 inches by 4 1/4, so it just goes onto the bottom edge. Let's go ahead and stick that in. Okay, now I'm going to make the little heart that slides in and out. And what I've done is I have masked my stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. So it keeps the rest of the stamp clean, so all I get is what I need. That way I don't get any overstamping if the stamp's not quite clean enough. So there we go. And I'll just mark a couple lines and go ahead and cut that out. Just use my little clear ruler here. Okay, next I'm going to stamp the top portion of the cupcake. I probably have ink on all of it, but I only need the top portion onto the white cardstock. And I'll stamp again onto craft cardstock. And I mainly want the bottom portion to be really clear, but I need the whole image so I know what to cut out. Move that out of the way. So go ahead and stamp the entire thing and CPR method. There we go. So I'm using like a medium-sized scissor, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut around the whole edge. And next I'm just going to cut out the top portion of the cupcake, just the white part. It's going to be kind of lifted up from the craft. You'll see that in a few minutes. Okay, so I've left the line around the bottom part of the craft and around the white portion. So now I'm just going to measure up my little strip that I've cut, and that's exactly where I want it. So I have a piece of craft paper, and I already had adhesive on the bottom, or onto my little strip. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and I'm just going to fold up the craft piece, and what I'm going to make is a little stopper, because once I feed this little strip in to the card, I don't want it to come all the way out. So just kind of folded it up. Now I'm putting adhesive on it and folding that over. So now I can continue cutting out around my little slider. So I'll cut the stopper first, and then I'll just kind of eyeball and cut around the rest of the slider. Okay, now I'm using a white Prismacolor pencil, and I'm just doing like some reverse shading. It'd be like if you were doing regular shading with a darker color, but this time, since it's craft paper, I'm just using white. And now I'm just adding a little bit of brown to the skinny stripes. Not being very particular about how I color, just getting a little color in there so that they just look a bit darker. And I'll go ahead and start coloring in my little hearts. And I'm using a pink pencil. It's kind of short, so I have an extender, and it's not like I use pink a whole lot, but I absolutely have a short pencil. And these are by Kohinoor. So I'm just coloring in the pink, and what I'll do is blend with an eraser. I'm not being really specific as to how I color. Okay, my coloring's done. So now I'm going to start adding my adhesive, and I'm using my tape runner around the top part. And I'm going to use little foam squares, and I'm just going to put them on these little circles here, because I want the bottom edge of the white portion to kind of lift up off the craft so it gives it some dimension, but I want the top portion to be sealed. I'm just going to add a little more right by the heart so that sits good and flat. So I'll go ahead and lay this down and make sure all the craft is hidden on the top part. And there's the lift. Okay, now I'm just going to cut the slit where I'm going to add my little slider. I'm just cutting right above the little line that's here. And I'm going through 2 layers of paper, so I'm kind of having to press down a bit. I just want to make sure I get it all. Make sure that my opening opens. And one trick I learned is to punch holes on each side of a slit, and then you won't get any tearing. It just prevents it from tearing at all. I don't know if you've ever tried anything where it has a slit and you see where it tears, but the little holes stop everything from tearing. Okay, now I've already stamped my little message, and I'm going to be feeding this in. Sorry, I have it so close to me. Just trying to feed it into the slit. There we go. And now I'm just adding some foam squares, and I'm kind of concentrating towards the top because I don't want to get anything near the little stopper. And if you notice, I put the 2 kind of close to the slider so that it kind of creates a channel. So that'll kind of help it guide up and down once we put the card or the cupcake onto the card. I'll just add a few more. Alright, we're almost there. So once I decide where I want to place it, just go ahead and start peeling off the adhesive back or the paper back. I think this is the hardest part of the card process. Go ahead and press it down, and our little slide comes up. And for final touches, I'm just adding some rock candy distressed stickles. And I love rock candy because it's very clear, but yet kind of chunky. So it's really kind of a fun stickles. And that's it. And here's my finished card. And here's a close-up of the slider. Thanks for joining me.